Hi guys, welcome back to the discussions for week 2. This video is for the second discussion for week 2, so I'm just gonna go in from the home page. Did not mean to click that, although you can get there that way. Let me just scoot this over. There we go. I added a link to the modules. I didn't realize that wasn't on there before. So there's lots of ways you can get to the discussions. You can actually click on discussions here on the side, just in case you're wondering. You can click on discussions, you can click on assignments, you can click on modules. Any of those links will get you to the discussions. And I just added the module for Unit 1 short story here. So I try to make it easy for you to get in there, and sometimes what makes sense to me navigating online might not make sense to you, and so it's about finding that happy medium of what is actually user-friendly. So let me know if you need me to link discussions one by one. I can also do that. So here we are in week 2, discussion 5. There are 2 discussions basically for the next several weeks, and so we're looking at Amy Tan's short story, Fish Cheeks. So many of you guys have heard of Amy Tan. And maybe you haven't, and that's cool too. She is, I think, most well known for the Joy Luck Club, which was written, I want to say in the 80s. It could have been in the early 90s, but she is really an amazing storyteller. She is also really good friends with Stephen King, who I'm sure you've heard of because he's a prolific writer. And I do believe that they are in a rock band together. And so not only is she a nerdy writer, she's also a rock star in her own right. So for this discussion, what you're going to do is you're going to follow the protocol that we typically do, which is usually like reading, journaling, and then posting something. And so here we have Fish Cheeks. It's a PDF file. And so you're going to click on it. It's just linking to somewhere on the internet. I found it on the internet. I just typed in Amy Tan Fish Cheeks. And you're going to read through her story. It's really short. So if you look, you can see it's just this one little page. It's a super short story. So we assume that short stories are short, right? Because they're called short stories. But the reality is many short stories are very long. You know, they're pages and pages and pages, 20, 30 pages. And they're still considered short stories. But we had Kate Chopin's The Story of an Hour, which was 3 pages, and now we have Amy Tan's Fish Cheeks, which is one Microsoft document PDF page long. So you're going to read it. There's elements of nonfiction questions at the end, which I think are really useful. I saved them. Someone else created them, I'm guessing for like a class. And so you can kind of look through them. I think they're helpful at shedding light on the story. And so they're interesting, they get you thinking. But again, the story is just this first page. So your task is to read the story, and it's about culture, it's about family, it's about coming of age, it's about a lot of things. And so you can talk about some of those things in your journal when you pull the 2 quotes that are interesting to you and you tie them into concepts of stories. And then also analyze them for your journal. Remember, you want to keep that journal in a Word document and just add your entries, 2 entries for each short story. And the information for that, if you're curious about it, is actually under the assignments tab under journal. So what I'll do is I'll click over there real quick so you can see it. And then that way, you know, if you have any questions, there's an example on there for you to see. So I'm just going to scroll down here. There's essays, there's journal log. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the journal log. So again, for your journal, you'll open up a Word document, you'll save it, and then you'll put your short story entries in there, 2 quotes for each story, and these are the stories, and then you're going to do 3 different parts for each one. So part 1 is sharing the quote, and you're citing it in MLA format. Part 2 is you're connecting the quote to concepts of story or storytelling, and then part 3 is explain why you picked it or what it means to you. And so there's a sample here for Story of an Hour, and so I hope that that's helpful for you. But again, you're going to do that every time you basically do a reading in the class, whether it's for the short story unit, the poetry unit, the drama or fences, the play, or our novel at the end of the semester, which is this beauty right here, A Tale for the Time Being. And so you're going to be using your journal to connect, to go deeper into the reading. But really what I want it to do is help you when you go back later and you decide what you're going to write about for each of your essays. You'll have done some brainstorming and some drafting, and it'll be so much easier for you to pick out kind of the thing that really excites you that you want to write about. Because when we're excited to write, it's so much easier. And so that's what the journal is for. It's like pumping that well or priming you to write something great later on. So you're going to read her story, take your notes in your journal. You can even listen to the story here, which I think is beautiful. I can't remember if it's her voice or not, so let me see.
Fish Cheeks by Amy Tan.
I don't know if it's her voice or not. I've heard her voice, but I can't tell if that's her. But it's a pretty good reading of her story. So again, you can read it out loud, you can listen to the story, but definitely do one or the other. Either listen while you're reading it or read it out loud while you're reading it. So you get multi-sensory experience, and you can also become a stronger reader and writer. Even if you stumble through words, it's fine. That's how we learn. That's how we become stronger writers and stronger readers. You read out loud and you listen to your voice. You start hearing your voice so you can kind of control and monitor the way that it sounds, the way that you pronunciate words, all that good stuff. Okay, so when you're done reading it and doing your journal response, then it's time to post your thoughts on the discussion board. And so what you're going to do here is you are going to choose an option below and delve into the reading by writing a 2-paragraph response. And you are going to do 2 things. You can either write a 2-paragraph response to one of the bullets, or you can do both. They're kind of fun, so see what sparks your joy and then do that. So the first one says, discuss Tan's fish cheek story using the concepts of story. We have tone, theme, symbol, plot, and I have theme twice, just in case you really like theme and you want to discuss it. No, that's actually a typo, so I apologize. The second one is connect on a personal level to Tan's fish cheek story. How do you relate, or how is it relevant today? That's really fun. That's what makes literature come alive for us, is when we can see a story that was written whenever it was written. In this case, I can't remember what year it was written. I think it's about, I want to say 20 years old, but it could be older than that. But even when a story is 100 years old and we notice we still connect to it, or even think about Shakespeare in the 1600s, right? And we're still connecting to those stories, like Romeo and Juliet, because those are human themes. Those are themes that run through the course of a lifetime of humanity, what it means to be human. And so you can connect there on a personal level if that's something that excites you. And then don't forget, on the discussion, as usual, you're going to read other students' posts and you're going to respond to somebody else's post in a thoughtful paragraph, engage in ideas, help push them further into the conversation on whatever thing that they decided to focus on. And most importantly, have fun and enjoy it.